Today on Talk Fulton, Fulton's first responders add more firepower to their staff to better ensure the safety of citizens. And the police department hopes new technology enhances transparency and the public's trust. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker, and Talk Fulton starts right now. Hi, everybody. Well, most of us have heard the saying that you've got to fight fire with fire, but if you don't have the proper firepower, you're toast. Well, thanks to what's being called the SAFER grant, the Fulton County Fire and Rescue Department was able to increase its firepower with the addition of 15 new firefighters, which ensures better protection for the community it serves. Joining us now to talk to us about the SAFER grant and the new firefighters is Fulton's Fire Chief, Larry Few. Sir, welcome to Talk Fulton.
My pleasure being here today, Shania.
All right, now we know about the SAFER grant because it's been around for some years, but many people just don't have a clue about it. Explain the SAFER grant and what it means to be a recipient.
Well, the Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response, yes, the grant's been around for quite some time. And the whole emphasis behind it is to, for those departments that demonstrate a need, you're able to apply for a grant in order to maintain your staffing levels. Simple as that. As you know, the economy had some issues, and we experienced some of those in the county, but we're now able to apply for SAFER grants to help us with that staffing, to maintain the service so that we can deliver our service with impact and efficiency.
And you're pressing this whole staffing levels issue as it relates to this particular grant. How hard is it for you all to even do your job without this grant?
Well, if we don't get the grant, we've already demonstrated that we needed the grant to maintain our staffing levels. Certainly, if we didn't get it, we wouldn't be able to conform with NFPA number 1710 standards for adequate fire response. So what the grant does for us, it allows us to go back, rehire firefighters, and fill vacancies so that we're able to respond with the proper number of firefighters on each apparatus.
Now, Chief, you know I don't have a clue as to what you're talking about when you said something with the acronym. What exactly is that?
Well, the National Fire Protection Association has a standard. It's called 1710 that all fire departments try to adhere to when responding personnel on fire engines. So we try to maintain a 4-person staffing matrix on all of our engines. To that effect, we have not always maintained that. The SAFER grant allows us to march in that direction so that we're able to maintain our staffing levels so that we can adequately provide the fire protection to all of our citizens.
Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the requirements to actually get the grant. Speak more specifically about what was required.
Yeah, well, you have to demonstrate a need. It's not that you just go in and apply for the grant. During the economic downturn, which our economy now is rebounding very well, we still have a need to rehire. We have vacancies that we have to hire additional personnel. And what this does, it helps us to get the funding that's necessary so that we can actually go back in, rehire personnel, fill vacancies, hold another recruit class so that we can graduate the proper number of people so we can continue to maintain our staffing levels.
Now, Chief, here's what is cool. Many folks may not know that a lot of these grants, there has to be some sort of a matching funds, but this particular grant was for just over $1.7 million to employ, as I said, 15 firefighters for 2 years with no matching funds from the county. How key and critical is that?
That is very critical to us. When you don't have to set aside money out of your operations budget to secure a grant, that is big. A lot of times we don't know the timetable that the federal government is on. And so when we start our budget process, that money that's set aside doesn't necessarily roll. So what we have now are SAFER grants that are geared toward no matching funds, and we simply, if we qualify, we get the grant, and we get it in and we start the hiring process.
Well, that is very cool. Now, I know we've been showing a little bit of video of some of the firefighters in training. Talk to me about that a little bit more. When you're able to hire them, are they already trained, or do they too have to complete this, I think, 12-week fire recruiting training program? Tell us about that.
Yes, that's the beauty of the SAFER grant. You can go in and hire people that already have firefighter experience, or you simply start the recruit class, and that's at least a 12-week process, could be more. But what we like to do is a combination. We'll look at the applicants that apply, and if there are those in there that already are certified firefighters, we'll hire them and then measure what their skill set is. That means that we may have an accelerated recruit class for them. But by and large, if we are doing a hiring process and we get people in, we're sending them through the full recruit school.
And Chief, you mentioned, we were talking just a second ago about the fact that this is at least for 2 years. What happens after that?
Well, the SAFER grant, the point of performance is 2 years. The county's really under no obligation to maintain those personnel. However, we do think that with the added help of procuring the SAFER grant, that we would be in a position to maintain those staffing levels as we move on, so that we can deliver service with impact and efficiency.
And, you all have been here before, much to the credit of you, quite honestly. But the SAFER grant, I think we've gotten it some 3 times since 2010.
Yes.
Big deal.
That is a big deal. And I have a very good staff that supports me in that process. Since 2010, we've procured $7.7 million in SAFER grant. That is big. Not often do you hear of a department getting that grant with that number of times, but we've been able to do that and get those firefighters in, provide that service, and deliver it again with impact and efficiency.
Chief, I've got just a couple more minutes, but I wanted to talk to you kind of overall about the fact that, a firefighter in 2016 is not just the typical, there's a fire, you all go out and put the fire out. You all, as first responders, are just that, first responders. I know this all too well because when I had an accident years ago, you all were first on the scene. Remind everyone about how critical your department is overall in terms of the services you provide.
Overall, the Fulton County Fire Rescue Department is classed as all hazards, which means that there's virtually no emergency that occurs in our area that we're not responding to. That also means that we have highly skilled and technically trained personnel that can respond to almost anything. If it's emergency medical, we have people that are trained to do that. Right out of the recruit school, all of our recruits are first responders. There are some that will come to us in recruit school that are EMTs or maybe even paramedics. But here's the deal. All of them, once they graduate from recruit school, they are classed as first-class firefighters, able to deliver the service. And then as they come on board, there's other additional training that we're able to give them so that they're able to respond to multiple issues around emergencies. So it's just not responding to a fire. It's just not going on an EMS call. It could be hazmat. It could be entrapment. It could be high-angle rescue. It could be a variety of things, and that is what all hazards is, and that is what the Fulton County Fire Department is classed as,
yes,
an all hazards department.
Yes, sir. And finally, you really couldn't do any of this without the support of the county manager and the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. They have been quite supportive in what you've been trying to do, yes?
Yes, the Board of Commissioners have been very supportive of our efforts to maintain our staffing levels so that we're able to deliver the service to unincorporated Fulton County. And I'd like to just personally thank them for that. I will tell you that we have a very good relationship with our county manager, with our COO. They've come out to the stations, been with us, had breakfast with us, know what our needs are, have spoken with some of the firefighters. So we're very, very supportive. They're very supportive of us in that. And I'd also say that the board has been very receptive to our needs also.
That is very, very important. Well, Chief, you are an amazing leader, and I always thank you for your time. Thank you so much, sir.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Shania.
And when we come back, we're talking to a new firefighter who's now on the job. And later, see how the police department is looking to improve community and officer safety. Please stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. In our last segment, Fire Chief Larry Few shared his excitement of being awarded the SAFER grant, which has allowed him to add new firefighters to his staff. Well, now we want to welcome in one of his newest hires, firefighter Marcus Brown. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, let's get down to the basics first. First things first. What do you say made you want to be a firefighter? And you know, sometimes this is a dream as a child. Was that true for you?
It was. I do enjoy the team aspect and willing to do whatever it is physical to help out my community and to be in a physical state and a team aspect with the fellow firefighters that I do work with currently.
And we've talked a little bit about the training aspect on the show before, but we haven't really heard from a former recruit's their perspective. So what was it like? You're talking about the physical aspect, but there's also a mental aspect as well. Talk about both.
Yes, the mental was also very extraneous in a sense of helping us prepare academically for weekly tests that we take. It helps prep us and prepare us for the real world, giving us a base set and a foundation standard for what is expected out there in the field and not going into it blindly, as well as the physical part, which is keeping us up to standards and keeping us well trained and fit to perform our duties that are given to us.
And you know what, Marcus, I don't think I ever really thought about the fact that there's some kind of written test. I never really thought about it. I think I always just saw you all's job as just something physical. What exactly are you all being trained on in terms of the written part?
On the written part, it's more in depth and just trying to focus on what is not just physical and trying to think your way through a process rather than just doing it. You have to also, it's mind tasking. So it's not just going in and putting the fire out. There's things you have to think about and everything that you have to consider when you go into a structure or when you deal with any aspect of the fire department.
So word on the street, well, it really isn't word on the street because I heard it from the chief that you were named top dog in this whole training process. So tell us what made you be named top dog and what part of the training did you enjoy the most? And then what part did you dread?
I would say I don't know what exactly made me top dog. I was told that I was a pretty good leader, and I did the physical tasks on a very great aspect, and as well as the physical in the written exam that we take. I did pretty well. The part that I loved the most was the physical training that we did in the morning. Hard to believe, but yes, I did enjoy that. The part that I dreaded, I didn't really dread any aspect of the fire department or the fire academy. It was very well prepared and put together to help better ourselves and to help us achieve what we needed at the end of this class.
Good answer. You just got on the job. Well, you do want to keep it. Well, now that you are on the staff, what does it really mean for you to be a Fulton County firefighter?
It means a lot. Our motto teaches us service to all, second to none, and it helps prep us and it helps us prepare in a sense of this is what we need to do, and this is why we got the job. It's to help our community and to do whatever it takes and to provide any aspect that the community needs.
You know, it is a very, very difficult job. It is probably one of the most important jobs that one could have. If one is out there saying, oh, I don't know if I could really go through the training, what would you say to encourage them to say, oh, yeah, you can?
I would say make sure that this is a job that you truly believe that you can do and that you want to do. This is not a job just to have money, and we don't get rich doing this job. And in a sense, you just need to make sure that this is something that you truly want to do. If you really want to better yourself and better the aspect in the community of how we go about our training, this is the right job for you. So just make sure that this is something you want to do.
And Marcus, you talked earlier about the team aspect of this. You are just one of 15. There's a whole training class, and the chief even talked about, hey, we are a family. This is all about the team. Talk to us a little bit about what you learned about the importance of being a team member.
I learned that this job is not just about you, and it's not about the citizens also that you help. It's about everybody coming together to perform a duty to get whatever done, whatever needs to be done. It's not at all an individual tasking job. This is an all team job, and this helps prepare us, and it gives us that break. So you're not just relying on one individual, you're relying on everybody.
Well, Marcus, you are a new firefighter. We threw you to the wolves, making you come on the show. You did a great job. Congratulations. We really appreciate your time, and congrats on becoming a part of the Fulton family.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. And up next, the police department turns to state-of-the-art technology to help with its law enforcement and public transparency. Stay with us, everybody. Well, in other public safety news, our men and women in blue look to enhance transparency and the public's trust with the help of state-of-the-art law enforcement technology and a unanimous vote by the Board of Commissioners. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has the story.
Currently, the Fulton County Police Department does not have dash cameras or body cameras, but after the Board of Commissioners approved more than $400,000 in funding, the department will soon have 170 cameras.
Radio 261, one more radio check.
While officers are equipped with radios, blue lights, and guns, by the end of the year, officers will also have body cameras, and patrol units will be equipped with dash cameras.
Well, I believe they'll be very beneficial on a couple of different fronts.
Police Chief Gary Stiles says his department will join a number of others in the country who are using body cameras, like the Spokane, Washington Police Department.
You are being audio and visually recorded.
The mission is to better investigate crimes and to better provide transparency to the public.
It enables us to quickly investigate any complaints on an officer, and I believe that it will, in most cases, exonerate the conduct of our officers.
They can even be set to automatically turn on in certain situations.
I'd be able to set it to where the camera comes on whenever the officer leaves their car. Then our policy will make it incumbent on the officer to know when the law says turn the camera off.
Fulton County 911, what is the address of your emergency?
The body cameras will also improve officers' safety by alerting 911 if the officer is in distress. This isn't the first department in Fulton using body cameras. Deputies with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office already use similar cameras at the jail. Now, as far as the dash cameras, Chief Stiles says those can be set to automatically turn on when the blue lights are activated. There will also be cameras that can record the back seat. Now, these are all expected to be up and running by the end of the year. Reporting from downtown Atlanta, I'm Priscilla Ortega for FGTV.
Thanks, Priscilla. Now, there are a number of opportunities for the community to connect with the police department. Just contact them directly at 404-612-5316. Well, that does it for this edition of Talk Fulton. Special thanks to Fire Chief Larry Few and Firefighter Marcus Brown, and a special thanks to you for watching. We invite you to email us to let us know what topics that you'd like to see addressed right here on Talk Fulton. Email us at fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker, and we'll see you next time.